about motherhood. 1 minute, you're mom of the year.
I love you, Mommy.
Then the next, not so much. From bath time to bullying, from potty training to puberty, parenting is full of challenges. But one thing is for certain, you are not alone. Welcome to Modern Mom Probs. I'm your host, author, mother, parenting expert, Tara Clark. Join me while we tackle today's modern mom problems. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. We're so excited.
This is our holiday party. I'm wearing red lipstick. You guys look festive. This is it.
We're like earrings.
They're so cute. How did I not notice those?
So
those are cute. So yeah, we're festive. We are feeling in the mood. Are you ready for the holidays?
Yes and no.
You don't have a
we have no choice this year.
It's like fast forward. We lost a weekend.
I know.
We get 3 weekends till Christmas, y'all.
Oh, you're right. Mm-hmm. It is coming up quickly. And I know where I am, like in the Northeast, like we had such warm weather. It was like 70 degrees. And then all of a sudden it was like 25. And we were like, wait a second. And that really took me by storm, no pun intended, took me by storm in as much as that, like, it's never that warm. You know, we have like a mild fall and then you kind of like go into winter. And this time it literally was like summer, winter. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not ready. And then all of a sudden it was Thanksgiving and it's my son's birthday. Now it's going to be Christmas. It's a lot. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way.
No.
I'm sure everyone listening right now feels that way too.
Yeah, it's so stressful.
It happened in Florida too. It's been like in this nice 70s. And then all of a sudden this week, it's like freezing, literally like in the
freezing and 68 degrees.
No. There's frost, y'all. It's really like freezing.
And in Florida, you guys don't even have jackets.
No. So literally, I see people coming out of the hospital and they're like running in their like scrub tops. We don't do jackets here, you know. So we brave the 35-degree weather in the morning.
And scrubs are cold. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's wearing scrubs. Insulation. There's nothing to that,
girl.
Oh my gosh! And I know you guys aren't allowed to wear anything underneath them. Right. So, because that's
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's like
it's a violation.
For germs and all that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So if you ever see people walking around with things under their scrubs, they really shouldn't. That has nothing to do with it. That's just my 2 cents on that one.
I mean, I'll start looking out for it now.
Excuse me.
Take that dirty undershirt off.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm bringing us back to holidays. We're going to be talking about holiday traditions today. We're going to be talking about tips on surviving the holidays. I want to hear some of your like special, warm, fond memories that you've had from when you were children and then things that you're doing for your own children now. But first, I want to start off with something very useful. Do you have any helpful tips on how we can survive the holidays?
Oh, we do.
We came
okay,
prepared.
And it's code Santa. And it's super simple. But Cammy and I, we have toddlers, and now we're working moms. We both have one toddler each, husbands. And, you know, it's been a real challenge with balancing your traditions from when you were pre-child to now wanting to create your own. And so we came up with 5 really easy tips that we're going to take you through on how to just survive and be mindful during the holiday season.
And these are the things that we live by. And they're not just like frilly things. Like we practice what we preach, y'all.
Yes.
And so for S in Santa, the S stands for simplify your schedule. So like limit your commitments, focus on what matters most. So for me, my S is I do not do the elf on the shelf. The elf on the shelf will send me, and I know it will send me to the deep depths of where I don't want to be in the holiday season. Yes. I have too much shit to do already. So I don't need that, to be in the back of my mind. And then it's not just like the elf is on a shelf. He has to do bad stuff, that's just like thinking of that. And that's like 25 days of that times, 9 years. The kid, I have to think of X amount of things for this elf to do for the rest of her life, childhood. And I'm just like, I can't take that on. That's not for me. I've got enough stuff to do. I got to wrap presents, stuff stockings, bake cookies. Okay. So for me, I put my limits on that. And other kids' moms, if you do you. But for me, that's my S.
Well, you have to simplify your schedule. Like a lot of people don't. And then they wonder why they're just running around manic on cortisol all day.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, we're doing Elf on the Shelf, but very basic. I don't think I'm ever going to be the over the top mom when it comes to some of the new fad traditions, I like to call it. But for me, simplifying is, anything that I'm going to dread. When you make plans and then you get to that day and you're like, why did I do that? I don't want to see this person. I just want to sit in a corner and scroll on my phone, get my radiation, drink my cup of water for the night, and go to bed in silence. Like, I'm trying to make sure that I'm mindful of how many times I say yes, which I know is so simple to say, but it's so hard to practice. So that's my simplifying this year.
I love the simplifying all of it. My 2 cents on the Elf on the Shelf is this. So this year is our first year knowing about the big guy. Right? Okay. So we are not doing the Elf on the Shelf this year for the first time. And when we started doing it, I feel like that was like kind of when it first came out. I actually don't know exactly when it came out, but I felt the pressure to do it because it was like this new tradition that everyone was talking about all of a sudden. I was like, oh, is this what we do now? Like, oh, okay, I'm a modern mom. Like, is this what we're doing? I guess so. So then I started doing it because that's, I guess, just what people were doing. But what I love now is like, more people are talking about having the option to opt out. And like, that wasn't necessarily a conversation that we were having like, 6 years ago or whatever. And so I kind of wish that like I had that, but I was always very, I don't want to say lazy because that's like not giving myself credit because I did move it every day, but I didn't have it cause trouble or do stuff. Like, it was always our sort of game with it was that it was always in a different location. Every morning.
Simple, yeah.
So it was simple. We kept it simple, right? He's not eating sugar. You're not going to find him in the refrigerator or toilet, peeing in the toilet. I did actually see like the funniest reel yesterday where it was like when your teenager has like when it's your teenager's turn to move the Elf on the Shelf, and it was taped to the front of a refrigerator, right where you get the ice and the water. So when you get the water, it was like peeing, like it looks like it's peeing into the cup.
Oh my God.
It was like the funniest video.
That is
I was like,
funny.
well done, guys. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's creative.
It was good times. So yeah, we always just kept it really, really simple. But this year is the first year that we're not doing it. So I'm kind of like,
how do you feel about that?
A little sad.
Sad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sad that I don't have to like move the elf because that was kind of annoying.
But it's like a new era.
But it is a new
chapter.
era of our holiday time now. And I thought that my son wouldn't want to like help decorate the tree and stuff. And he did. He was like great about it. And I was just talking to my other friend today. She also has a child the same age. And she was like, no, this year she pushed me aside and she was like, she did the whole thing all by herself. And she wanted to do it this way and that way. And she was like meticulous on how she was putting the ornaments and this and that. And it's like, kids are still into the holidays even as they grow up. It's just different, you know? Okay, so now let's go to the next letter, A.
Okay. A is always nourish your body.
Yes.
We have done a lot of research, and Cammy especially has done a lot of testing into her microbiome, and I won't take that away from you. You can dive deeper into it. But what I've learned this year, and, I feel fortunate when we started this podcast, we're talking to so many people and I'm learning so many things I just would never know otherwise. So always nourish. And if you don't know how to, research it and find a partner or find a buddy or find a podcast, find a book. It doesn't need to be a diet or a fad. You just need to nourish yourself with foods that are good for you as an individual and not skip out on that. And I'll use myself as an example. like for me right now, and we talked about this just recently, like I'm not ready to intermittent fast. Like I'm just not. Like my body does not respond well to it when I try. And so you see a lot of people doing different things online. I'm like, oh, this is going to work for me. And then it doesn't. And what I found for me is having breakfast in the morning. And for me, it's just a perfect bar. It's not, I mean, it's probably not organic, but it is made out of superfoods. And for me, my body digests it amazing. And I start my day off feeling good and nourished. And then I just carry out my day and it's a better day no matter what steps in the way. I'm feeling good. So that's my tip is do not discount yourself.
Good tip.
Yep. All right. And then kind of on that track for our N in Santa, nurture yourself. Whether that's carving time out to enjoy a cup of tea or hot chocolate, just doing something for you. And for me, what I'd like to do is I like to make sure that I'm feeling centered because this time is stressful. It's work, holiday parties, it's, all your kid events, ballet recitals, it's the whole 9 yards, right? And you do that, you couple that with the sugar from the treats and the alcohol, and your immune system is just in the garbage can. And that's why everyone gets sick around this time. So it's really, really important to balance out your cortisol. And if that's a bubble bath, if it's listening to a podcast, reading a book, you really have to prioritize yourself. And if that means like writing out a schedule, just do it where you can find 30 minutes to do it because it's really, really essential if you're going to survive.
Yeah, for sure. And I also think that setting boundaries with family members around this time is so important to controlling those cortisol levels.
Absolutely.
Because it can be a lot. You have to see this person and that person, and they're expecting this from you, and they're expecting that from you. It's a lot. So you have to really prioritize your schedule, as you mentioned before, but also like your mental health. And I think setting boundaries is super important on that one.
Yeah. One thing that I did that was really helpful this year is I want to call it like a wellness kit, but I pre-purchase things that I know that I'm going to need or as I'm learning what Lakin may need. So for example, the stomach bug, right? Like I'm really big into hydration and learning about hydration. And so just making sure that I have like a very clean hydration option for if he gets sick, that's not necessarily a Pedialyte because he doesn't like it. Yeah. Making sure that I have some holistic remedies. We had a conversation with Dr. Noah, and he told us about ooze neon. What's the other one, Cammy? It's Takisumi, which is like a Japanese charcoal that's like 500 times, better than an average charcoal that you could purchase at a store. So I've stocked up on things that are natural and holistic so that when the time comes, I'm not like, I can't get out of the house and I'm scrambling. Oh, it's been such a game changer for me this year.
That's awesome. That's great to hear.
Yep. T, as we get into Sant, is take a breath.
Oh, yeah.
Breathe.
Breath work is so important. Like
so
actually breathe.
No,
breath
really.
work is so important.
A lot of people don't know that. It actually, we had Dr. Song, she wrote a book about your kid's microbiome. A lot of people don't know that. Breath work.
What's her first name?
Ooh.
Is it like Eliza?
It might be. It's a Healthy Kids, Happy Kids.
Yes. Okay. So funny thing, I have not met her, but I know her sister, Erica Song, very well. They're twins. They're both doctors. Yeah. They're twins. They're both doctors. And I know her sister. I should actually have Dr. Song on the podcast.
You should.
Now that I think about it, wait a second. That is actually very funny. Sorry. I totally didn't mean to interrupt. Go.
No. But she's great. And so she actually has a chapter in her book about breath work and how it nourishes the microbiome. A lot of people don't realize that.
Which is something that I'm not really medically inclined. I would have never thought breathing had anything to do with my gut health.
Because of your stress levels.
And like even last night, my son had gotten sick, right? Stomach bug. what's new, daycare, wintertime.
Right.
And I recognized that I was mouth breathing. And then I started to think, like, do I always mouth breathe? I was like sitting next to him, holding him. And I was like, am I just that anxious? Or do I always breathe like that? And then I started to second guess what my body naturally does. And so, like, now I just know I need to be more conscious when I'm in heightened situations, that I'm taking a second to step back and take a breath. Because now that I know that, no wonder we're all walking around bloated and unwell. You know, we're probably like, you know, running around doing what we got to do. And no one's like thinking, like, do I breathe through my nose? Do I not? Like, that's insane to think that something so simple that your body naturally does actually has that big of an impact.
It's true. You don't really think about it until you think about it.
Right.
You know, you were talking about gut biome, and this is like totally not an ad, but this is something that a product that I genuinely enjoy.
Yeah.
They're called Groons. There's these little green gummies that are packed with like 60 vitamins and minerals, and they have a formula for adults and a formula for children.
Love.
And I cannot say enough wonderful things about them. Like, my husband and I take the adult formula each day. My son takes the child's formula, and like his BMs are regular. Like, it's helping like regulate his body and all of that kind of stuff. So highly recommend looking into Groons, just as an FYI when you're talking about gut biome and stuff like that.
I've never heard of that.
That's good to know. Any type of supplement or medication, you know, as restricted or as told by your doctor, but anything to help reduce stress, I feel like is game changer. I didn't realize until after having a kid how much my body changed, right? And I know we all talk about it briefly, but it takes years for your body, I think, to return back to its new normal, not even its old normal, its new normal. And you gotta do what's right for the gut.
Yeah. Take care of your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So our last tip is the last A in Santa.
My favorite.
This is the big guns, also the most obvious. Ask for help. Delegate tasks and lean on support system, whoever that may be. For me, that's my husband. Last year, I remember specifically, I was so stressed out because I don't know what happens on Christmas Eve, but like the presents multiply or something. Like, they just get bigger or there's more of them. And I just like, I can't wrap all of these. Like, you know, it's 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. That is not happening this year, ladies. Guess who's going to be wrapping some presents?
Yes.
Husband. Hello, husband. You're going to be wrapping some gifts. So that's something
Get
I
him
learned from
involved.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. He doesn't know what's up there, but he's going to find out shortly.
He's going to be so surprised when he sees all this stuff. He's going to be like, oh, look at all this. Where'd all this come from?
I know.
But like, I feel like my mom, the whole community helped each other. Like, I remember like going across the street to the neighbors while my mom did this or that. And like, you just don't have that anymore. Like, you really are a mom without a village a lot of the time. And so one thing that I think we're both challenging is to be okay asking for help too. Yeah. You know, even if it's outside of your immediate family, because I feel like a lot of times we assume we're going to bother someone or we don't want to put the burden on them, but people get endorphins. People like to help. My in-laws love to help me. And even if they don't, I make them think they're like loving to help me. But I've always been the type of person that I will ask for help. And I think that does help.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think you have to be comfortable with it. Maybe that's just like the easiest take is if you're the type of person, which there's so many women that are like, I just never ask for help. Just do it once. Just challenge yourself to do it once, Tara.
Yeah.
No, one time, and then like,
you know,
chill.
gradually increase.
Go breathe.
Yes.
Go nourish thyself.
I will work on my breath work and I'll nourish myself and I'll make sure that my gut biome's okay. No, I've gotten better over time, especially with my husband. I always ask my husband for help. And so that's definitely gotten better. I don't think anyone outside of him, I don't think I ever asked, like ever.
Yeah. And it's really common. You know, I talk about it with my girlfriends all the time and they'll be like, oh, no, I'll do it myself. I'm like, but why?
Why? Yeah.
You know, like, I'll help you. I want to help you. But no, a lot of people, even if you offer, are like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I think that's
I don't
also
know
too
why.
on the reverse. This is a PSA for friends that if you have a friend that doesn't like help anyways, or show up in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes I think you have to, like, by doing something unexpected, people then feel comfortable, and then you kind of form a relationship where you're just more prone to open up to each other and ask for things or ask for help.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yep.
that makes a lot of sense.
Those
I
are our
love those.
Santas.
I love those tips. Those are great. I didn't take notes, but I feel like I should have. But I'm going to go back and listen to this and then write
We
it
can
down.
put it in the description. We'll send them.
I'm going to put it in the. I'll put it in the show
Yeah.
notes. That's okay. Everything always in the show notes. I love that. I want to talk about holiday traditions with both of you. Are there any holiday traditions that you had as a child that you loved so much now that you're bringing into your family, now that you're moms?
I do.
Yeah. for sure.
I'll go first. So, Christmas trees. I have 4 or 5 of them in my house. They really do bring me joy. I'm that weirdo that when that crisp Christmas tree comes out and it is not fluffed, I will spend hours fluffing my Christmas tree until it's perfectly how I want it. And I love every minute of it. It is my zen. But the one thing from my childhood that I feel like we miss nowadays because we have pre-lit Christmas trees is stringing lights on a tree.
Oh, yeah.
I also love the fact that the old school lights have more colors than your custom Christmas trees do today. A lot of times it's like red, blue, yellow, green.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go look at old fashioned Christmas trees, there's purple, there's pink. It's just a little bit more subtle and it's not so Crayola bold.
Okay.
And so my favorite thing, and we got one tree to put, we finished our basement, so we put our unprelit Christmas tree downstairs, was stringing the lights and making that the creative tree. To just put only the ornaments of memories and fun. It's not pretty. It's not meant to be grand or over the top. It's just meant to be family. But the thought of stringing Christmas lights with my family for me is so nostalgic that I'm going to put the work in every year to do it, even though my husband's like, just get a pre-lit tree. Because it takes like 13 packs of 100 strand lights. And once you string it in, you got to string it back out at the end of the year. But it's the work that counts. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, nothing's more pretty than a tree where you string the lights yourself. It really is something different.
They put out their Christmas lights, all of their decorations, on November the 1st. Like, it's in their calendar every year.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
her
amazing.
I
husband,
love
that's
it.
like his most hated day of the year, and I'm starting to understand why.
Mm-hmm.
He sees the calendar and he's like,
he's
oh,
like, oh,
crap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, try it. I mean, hanging the lights on a Christmas tree, it seems like a lot of work, but that's one where I'm gonna take what I did as a child and I'm gonna continue it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Simple.
love that. I do remember putting up the lights on the Christmas tree when I was a little kid because that was like pre-lit trees.
Pre-lit. Yeah,
That was a lot of work.
it is. Yep.
It was a lot of work. That's so cute. Cammy, what about you? What tradition did you have?
Yeah, so my mom, I say my mom because my dad was like, oh, surprised every time we opened something. But on Christmas Eve, we got matching like pajamas. And we did this before it was the fad. Like before everyone had matching pajamas, like this was our thing. And, you know, everyone's kind of like, you guys do what? You know, this was like in the 90s, we had like matching pajamas. You know, we all dressed the same. So we would get that on Christmas Eve. We open that and then we open an ornament. And so every year on Christmas Eve, we get an ornament. And so
Love that.
we're still doing it as a family, but like my mom lives down the street. So it's very much like from her still. Like my daughter gets an ornament. She gets her Christmas jammies. I get my jammies and my ornament. So I'm still like the kid still.
Well, because you'll always be your mom's baby.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's like my tradition, but it's like, still like our very much our whole family's, tradition.
That's awesome.
And the way I kind of do it is I don't give this to the family on Christmas Eve, but I've kind of changed it, and I buy like from Hallmark. They have these ornaments, and every year they're different, but you can get a photo printed out on them. So
I love
last
that.
year I got like a big sugar cookie tree, and it had a photo from when we went on vacation, and then you can put like our last name and then the year, and so that's kind of be our thing.
I love that. You guys are really good about traditions.
What about you? What tradition
I know.
do you have?
So, true story. As you're each telling me your stories, I was racking my brain trying to think of something that I did as a kid that I continue now. And I guess the only thing I could really think of is decorating the tree while listening to Christmas music.
That's a
But I
tradition.
feel like everybody does that.
I
though.
don't think so.
I don't know. That would be my
some
thing.
people that are just like boom, 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 and then it's done, and they're like, okay, my tree's done. Now I'm on to the next thing. I think taking your time and listening to music and taking the moment, I totally think that's a great tradition.
Okay, thank you. So that's what it is. We make a day of it where, we take our time, we put the music on just for that. It's like, it's the first time each season that we start listening to Christmas music. And yeah. And so I've been doing that since I was a little kid. I remember having, this sounds so crazy, but it's true. There was a Cabbage Patch Dolls Christmas album that my mom, bought for me when I was a little kid. And so we would listen to the Cabbage Patch Kids dolls sing Christmas carols. And then also I think I had an Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas album. And I would decorate the tree with my mom listening to Christmas music. And so now, like I said, every year we always put on Christmas music as we decorate the tree.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I would say.
Yeah, it's almost like when you do have like that deep-rooted family tradition to like go into the holiday and not do it feels wrong.
Yeah.
You're like, I have to do it this way. Like there's no other way.
Right, exactly. And I think that for me, the memories are sort of a joint memory, or it's embedded better because there's music to go with the vision. So like, you know what I mean? Like I could still, like I'm telling you about the Alvin and the Chipmunks, right? Or the Cabbage Patch Kids singing, which is a weird concept. But like I can tell you like what I was listening to as I was hanging the decorations. And I'm sure maybe at some point my son will grow up and remember that we were listening to like, I don't know, the Pentatonics song, like as he was putting on the thing. So I like that there is sort of like a visual and a sound that goes together.
Yeah, I love that.
So now let's talk about like traditions that you do now. Like what do your holidays normally look like? In as much as like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, what do you guys normally do?
Yeah. This one's a tough one for me because I feel like, our parents' generation has so many built-in traditions, right? Like you go to this house for this meal, you go to this house for that meal. And now that I have a toddler where, I want to be home for the holidays. I don't want to open up presents and then hop in a car and drive to Timbuktu. And, in my situation, it is a lot of driving. And we have dogs. And so a lot of times it's like you go here, then you got to go let the dogs out, then you go back out. And so for me, I've just been really mindful on not overcommitting. And I think that my family has been pretty flexible. And to your point, like you have to set boundaries. Being honest that although I want to carry on a lot of your traditions, I also equally need to start my own. And so I've had to kind of rearrange what the holidays look like or get comfortable with, spending Christmas Eve with my family, maybe not seeing them on Christmas Day, and just having those open type of communications. The one tradition, though, that we started as a family, and I think every family should do, is we found this little book, and it's an ornament. And every year we write everything that we did that year in the ornament book. And then when we go to take down our Christmas decorations, we read each year
Aw.
since we've met all of our milestones.
That's
or
cute.
the good, the bad, the sad, we'll be like, we got pregnant. Like, my grandfather passed away. I lost my best friend. Like, we write everything so openly, but it's so nice every year to go back and relive moments that were so special to you. And so my one advice for any family to start at any point in time is to find your little ornament book and start writing like your
That's
top
cool.
highlights for the year.
I
And then
never
go
seen
back
that.
every year and read
That's
every
cool.
single page.
I love that.
Love it.
It's really sweet.
It's so sweet. That's
Yeah.
like next level. That's like Hallmark movie
Yeah,
sweet.
no, it really is. I mean, we'll every year, like we get to that, ornament and we're about to take it down and Jane's like, you ready? I'm like, yep. And we're like crying, laughing. Like, it's really cool. And it's not writing a novel, it's only like 3 inches by 3 inches, but we write enough where it kind of takes you back.
That's really cool. I didn't know
Thank
that
you.
that kind of stuff existed. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. I love that. Cammy, what about you?
So I'm Puerto Rican. So Noche Buena is basically when we do our celebration, which is Christmas Eve. We don't do gifts. We do that on Christmas morning, but that's when we have our big meal. That's when the family gets together, is Christmas Eve. So it just kind of depends on the year. If I have the week off, because we work in the OR on Christmas Eve. So like this year I was like, Mom, I'm not going to be helping girl. Like, that's all on you. So she's going to be doing the heavy lifting with the cooking and stuff. And I guess I'll just show up afterwards. Hey. But,
Like, hey, I was on call. I'm back now.
she was like, but last year you helped. I was like, honey, last year it was on a Sunday.
Like, I don't write the schedule.
Yeah.
Not my fault.
Not my fault. These surgeons want to work on Christmas Eve. So that's what we do. And then we get in our jammies and our matching family. We'll take our little photo if
That
we
is
remember.
so good.
And yeah.
I love that. That's a great tradition. This year, I have to say, my mom, for the first time ever, she got the idea of getting us matching pajamas, like my husband, me, and my son. And they're all Grinch pajamas.
Love it.
That's
And
cute.
so she bought them like a few weeks ago, and she gave them to us when she saw us on Thanksgiving. And so she was like, here, now you could get like a whole month's worth out of like wearing them. And so we actually took pictures in them on Saturday after we put up our Christmas tree, and that's going to be our Christmas cards.
Oh, I love it.
So it's the first time that we ever did like a matching pajama kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that was all like courtesy of my mom. So kudos to her for that one. So, and we had to take like 100 pictures. When you guys do the picture at home, Cammy, like, do you guys have to take 100 photos to get one good one?
Because not only is it us, but it's the dogs are included too. And they get matching bandanas.
Aww. And so it's like you have to have the baby. Like the baby needs to be looking at the camera.
Yes.
You have like the
The
dogs,
dogs have to be
looking at the camera.
Then it's my sister, her fiance. So there's yes. Long story short, yes, we're there for a while.
It's hard because like we were taking pictures and my husband was getting annoyed and my like son was like getting annoyed. But then he was like grabbing the camera and then like he was like zooming in and then it was taking pictures of like the corner of my forehead, like all kinds of random stuff. We had a lot of fun because we were laughing so hard by the end of it. So like we really did have fun with it. But like we were like, okay, that's it. So I think it was fine. I'm sure the picture is going to come out fine. I sent it to Shutterfly. We'll see. Hopefully I get that in time.
There'll be one gen. That's usually how it works. We'll take like 50 and there's maybe one that everyone looks good in.
Yeah. It makes me feel validated to know that it wasn't just us taking 1,000 pictures.
Oh, no.
Do you guys do Christmas cards?
No, I don't.
I won't get, I could sit here and talk for half an hour what I got myself into this year, so I'll keep it quick. But absolutely. And so I ran into this dilemma this year because I love Minted. I always use Minted. I don't know why. I just love all the designs that artists have there. So that's like my go-to company. But I was like, I'll just get like 50. And this year it was lazy. I don't want to say lazy, but it was just Lakin, front and center, not the whole family. Like, had a great picture of him. That's who's going to get our Christmas card, is just Lake. So ordered 50, got it in the mail, started to do my thing. And my first dilemma is I have this sense of like ownership that it's too easy nowadays, where you can use these companies and then upload a file and they'll print the addresses on the envelope for you. I feel like I'm like cheating. So I'll always like pre-print the return address, or like our address, you know, if you need to return it. But I feel that I need to handwrite on the envelope who it's going
the
to.
Same way. Seal.
Okay, so it's not just me. So that's the first dilemma. So I open up my Excel sheet and I'm like, all right, 50 people. There's no way I'm going to need that many. And then the second dilemma came in where I'm looking at my Excel sheet and it's either our wedding invite list or the baby shower list. And that's obviously like your family, extended family, your in-laws, their extended family, random cousins that, you know, came to your baby shower, but you've never talked to them again. So then I started to sweat. Like, people have purchased me gifts in the last 2 years. And then I just never talk to them again. Like, it's just like my in-laws, like second cousin, they buy me this and then I just like, thanks, and then send you a thank you card and then that's it. So now I have this sense of ownership that I have to send a Christmas card for the next 5 years at least to anyone that's purchased me a gift between my wedding and baby shower. So now I've purchased an additional 50 cards.
Girl.
I am mailing out over 100 Christmas cards. And the other 50 I purchased doesn't have the return address printed out. So now every card is handwritten, over 100 of them.
Girl.
And I am just like, what on earth? So then I asked my friends, what's your Christmas card this year? I'm not doing that. What? You lazy? Mom, I'm judging you. I'm just joking. I'm not judging you. But then I realized that no one else is doing this and I'm just living in this guilt for no reason. But I'm happy to know that you feel the same way too. Like, don't you feel like you're skipping out if you get it printed? Like, I have so much guilt.
Yes, I do. And so also I'm going to add on top of this. I don't write anything on the cards once I get them. I literally just like take the cards, put it in the envelope, you know, put my return label there, and then I handwrite the thing.
Yeah.
It makes me feel less guilty about not writing anything on the card if I handwrite the address.
Okay.
So then they know at least it was me that took this, put it in the envelope, didn't care to write anything on it, and then I wrote out the envelope.
You're not going to want to know this, okay? I hope this doesn't deter you. The amount of stress I had over, do I sign the cards or not?
Did you?
Not only did I sign the cards, Heart Bulgarelli family, but I thought to myself, do they know what Bulgarelli family member this is?
Oh, no.
So it's Heart Bulgarelli family, James, Celia, and Lakin on every single card that doesn't have Lakin's photo.
Did James help you?
No.
No.
He looked at it. He's like, why do you have so many? I'm like, you ask me. These extra 50 are yours.
But this is for your cousin that lives across the country.
That I've never met before, but got me a baby shower gift. But then I thought to myself, you know, they're going to appreciate this, you know, like, because less and less people send Christmas cards. It's just a thing. And now you can text Christmas cards, which I won't get into that. But
that's a whole nother thing too.
My mother-in-law is anti that. But, you know, so I think just the effort of doing it, I think, means more to people. But I thought about the fact if anyone gets my Christmas card and throws it out immediately.
Me. That's why I don't send them out. I look at them for 10 seconds and then it goes in the garbage because it's going to clutter my house, girl. I'm sorry. That's why I don't send them out because I know what happens to them. They go in the garbage in 10 seconds.
And stamps are expensive too.
Exactly,
that's like 50 cents at least. I think it's 50 cents. Maybe it's more. I don't know how much it is.
No, it is so expensive for 100 stamps, $75. It was $75. So Cammy, I'm sorry. You're telling me that a Christmas card comes to your house, you open it, and then throw it away immediately? Girl.
Yeah, I look at it for 30 seconds.
I better
cute,
see my mother effing card on your
It's going to be on your thing.
I cannot. The audacity.
Hey, listen, I live with an OCD like clutter freak. He does not like clutter, so it's gotta go, girl.
I still save people's cards, like wedding. If you send me a card with your photo on it, I still have it.
Oh, where do you keep all of these?
Yeah, exactly.
I have a bag.
She has a whole storage room
box.
downstairs.
I do have a basement, but I can't throw it out. I'm like, how could I throw out your kid's face? Like, I
do feel guilty at the end of the season.
It's gotta go.
I save all of them. We put them on, I don't know,
your mantle
like a buffet.
Anywhere. Yeah,
like we had, like in our dining room. There's like a half buffet thing. I don't know, whatever. I put them somewhere where everyone could see them. They're prominently displayed for the holiday season. And then as soon as we clean that shit up, I throw it back.
Not me.
But I do feel guilty. Yeah. Going back to what you said, is like you're throwing up people's faces. And so I kind of will look and be like, that's cute. Yeah. And then put it in the garbage after that.
Shred it up though, so like the child's identity is protected. I do feel that.
Oh, I never thought about
the name and stuff, so I do like rip it into tiny pieces.
That's even worse, Cammy.
I don't know what to say about that.
Like, okay, so if you send Cammy a card, not only will she throw it out immediately, she's gonna shred it.
She may or may not spit on it too.
Oh my gosh.
I never thought about protecting the identities. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess that could happen now. Yeah.
I mean, really, anything.
And you're signing everything.
I know.
Especially mine. You're signing a Bulgarelli with all of our names.
There you go.
So funny.
That is wild. Where do you display yours, Celia?
Typically just around the house. Like our whole house turns into Hallmark. I have a 6-foot nutcracker. I have 5 Christmas trees. Like everything's done. I've been collecting holiday decor since I can remember, and I ask for holiday decor for Christmas. So everywhere you look, like my rugs are special Christmas, like everything. I can take pictures and send them to you.
She even
send them to me.
Yeah.
She sent me a nutcracker for my birthday.
I did.
My birthday is the 22nd of November. And
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And there was a nutcracker on my front porch. When I came home from dinner, I don't think I was ever like more freaked out. I was like, where did this come from? There was no packaging. There was no like name. There was just a nutcracker on my front porch. And I'm like, everyone was like, what's funny about the story is that my mom comes because they're all coming over to have cake. And then my sister shows up. My sister's like, don't touch it. It probably has anthrax. Like she was so serious. She's like, don't let Kalina touch it. Don't anyone. She's like, where did this come from? And then like it became like a whole thing. We were gonna call like the neighborhood watch. My mom's like, it's probably the neighbors. Like, why would they leave a nutcracker? They don't know it's my birthday or something. And it became like the most like biggest mystery. It was traumatic a little bit. And then I should have known it was her, but I didn't. And so she got me good.
And then you called the FBI.
Yeah, right. I got an anthrax nutcracker on my front porch.
But for me, the clutter is what makes the holidays. So, like, if you send me a card, it will be anywhere where there's space for it.
Low-key, when we jump off, we're going to exchange addresses, and I'm going to send you a card.
There you go.
Because I know you will appreciate it.
I will.
Wow. I've never
if your
felt
face
more
is on
before.
It, and you could call me in 30 years and be like, Celia, you still got that card? I'll be like, yeah.
But will she protect your identity? No. She will not rip it up.
That's okay, because my last name is different from my husband's last name.
Yeah.
So I'm all right. I'm just playing.
Who cares about his identity? Yeah.
Exactly. the whole rest of my family. Oh my gosh, you guys crack me up. I think I should like have you on my show literally every week because you make me so happy and you crack me up with your stories. I ask this question to all of my guests, whether it's our holiday party or not. And I'm super curious to see what you're going to say. Are you guys ready? I'm going to start with Cammy first.
Okay.
What do you think is the biggest modern mom problem out there right now?
I would say technology. It's so hard. Number one, there's so much information. There's so much mom guilt. There's so much like judging you against Sally Joe down the street, and it's really, I think, for me, it's one of the like the biggest thing. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, right? You do get a lot of information, a lot of things that I've done with my daughter. I've learned through that. My mom didn't have access to any of that stuff, but at the same time, there is it's definitely a double-edged sword.
Agreed. 1,000% agreed.
Yep.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go for it. I was just giving you a moment there to think about it.
No, I already know my answer, and I won't go too deep, but I probably will. So for me, it's confidence. I think is one of the biggest modern mom problems, which kind of stems to what you're talking about, Cammy. But I'm going to go back to my postpartum for a second. I got postpartum preeclampsia, and I was in the hospital for a couple weeks after giving birth. And then that quickly spiraled into panic disorder, and I was I was just not myself. I was terrified. I'd had accelerated heart rate like 24/7. And I remember watching, what's that Amy Schumer movie? Hey Pretty, or, what's it called?
I don't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But it was an Amy Schumer movie where she is on a Peloton or whatever type of bike, and she like hits her head, and then all of a sudden she thinks she's pretty. And long story short, she, with her confidence, grows her career. But there's one part in the movie, and she says, when we were little girls, we didn't care, right? Like we would pick our wedgies. We had all the confidence in the world. And then you hit adulthood, and where does all that confidence go? And that stuck with me. I Feel Pretty. That's what the movie's called.
I was just about to say, I Feel Pretty.
Yes. And that movie and that moment in the movie, so backstory, that's the only movie I could watch for like 6 months because that was my safe movie. So I've watched I Feel Pretty probably literally 200 times. It's the movie that I was like, oh, if I watch this, nothing's going to happen to me because I've watched this movie and nothing's happened. But confidence, I think, is just a killer in our world today. And I think it's going to take a lot of women to do very basic things to get back to who they are. And it's going to take a lot of strength, and people really need to continuously work within and not worry about what everyone else is doing. Because the second you compare yourself, scientifically, biologically, environmentally, sociology, all of those combined, you're in a different space than anyone else around you. And I think the closer we can get to understanding that and being nice to ourselves, the better off we'll be. And it's going to take a long time to get there.
Wow. So well said. I agree, because it's in so many different aspects. It's like confidence in your parenting, confidence at the workplace, confidence in your appearance, confidence fighting against the social media comparison. It's confidence in like every aspect of your life.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful note to leave off on. Although this is a holiday party and we're supposed to be partying. No,
jingle, jingle.
Jingle, bitches. No,
jingle that confidence everywhere you go.
So, like I said, I could chat with you guys like literally all day, but I realize we've been on for almost an hour. Tell everyone where we can find you, where we could listen to the podcast. Tell us like all the things.
Yeah.
Yep. So we are Bougie Mom Friends. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you stream. BougieMomFriends.com. We are really big into pop culture, health, beauty, all of the things to help you just grow your confidence and be who you are and feel comfortable in your own skin.
Love, love, love. This is my last question about you said pop culture, and it made me think. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh. Okay. So I have to answer this in two parts. So
course.
my favorite beginning of Christmas is National Lampoon's. Like, I feel like if you don't watch it on Thanksgiving, like, you should be arrested. That's just my opinion.
I hate that movie.
You would. And my all-time favorite Christmas movie, though, is The Christmas Story.
I hate that one too.
Oh my
They're both classics.
It's
Super
so
classic.
corny. I can't stand that movie. Love you though.
What a Grinch. What's yours, Cammy?
Well, mine is Jingle All the Way.
Oh.
Oh, see, I got the
That's
Christmas
Arnold
with-
Schwarzenegger.
Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They got to get the toy at
Yeah,
the
the
store.
toy.
Yeah.
They have. You've never seen that one with Sinbad?
That's fun. That's funny. Yeah. That's a good one.
I'm trying to think of the toy.
That's a good
Turbo
classic.
Man. They gotta get a
Turbo Man.
Man.
Thank you. I could like see it in my
Turbo
head and I
Man.
couldn't think of the name. Turbo Man.
No, that's a good one.
You gotta
Yeah.
watch that. That's a
Yeah,
good
no,
one.
that's a good one. My favorite, or at least one of my favorites, is The Grinch Who Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey.
Oh,
We
yeah.
watched that just the other night with my son, and he was so cute because he was wearing his like Grinch pajamas, and we were watching The Grinch. And I was like, it was really cute.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was cute. That was the day we put up our Christmas tree. So that was what was that
That's a good
Saturday
day.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. That one's classic. There's so many good like one-liners from that. It's
Yeah.
just super, super funny. But yeah, I grew up watching The Christmas Story. I didn't this sounds funny and stupid, but I'll say it anyway. I didn't really understand National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation one until I got older. I just like as a child, it like totally went over my
Yeah.
head. Like I didn't really, there's so many parts I didn't understand. And then I watched it as an adult and I was like, oh yeah, I get that now. Okay,
Yeah,
it's fine.
now we get that.
Maybe I
get
can
it.
watch it again then. I have not watched that because I don't.
You should just try
Watch it
Yeah.
as a grown-up.
Okay.
It totally hits different.
It
Okay.
does, but do it on Thanksgiving. You know, I don't think it's really Christmassy,
Okay.
but I just have to add the all-time like most enjoyable Christmas movie for me is Home Alone.
Oh,
The
yeah, that's a good one.
music,
Yeah.
the
100%.
energy.
Yeah. We also
like,
just watched that this weekend
yeah.
too. Yeah.
I've already watched it at least 20 times.
And if you
I
want
love Home Alone.
a new Christmas movie that just came out, that's good. The Lindsay Lohan one is very good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she looks really
There-
great in that one. I have not seen that, but she looks great.
It's really good. It's not like your typical Christmas movie. Fresh plot line. It's hilarious. 10 out of
Okay.
10. Check it out.
okay. I will totally check it out. Can I tell you guys a secret? I've never watched a Hallmark movie. Like, I know.
Wow.
I know. I should like have my like female card revoked or something. I don't know. Like I've never, my mom watches so many that it makes up for the fact that I've never seen any. My mom has seen every single one of them
Yeah.
and I've never seen any of them.
I'm really surprised. So I will be honest, I kind of understand, which is so hard for me to say.
Miss
But
Christmas over
I know,
here?
I know it is hard for me to say, but Hallmark, they just overdo it now. You know, it's like I told Cammy, it's like the sheen of Christmas. You know,
Well
it's just
said.
like
It is.
past
It is.
Christmas.
It's too
How
much.
many
It is.
movies? It's like 75 movies because they have to make money off streaming, you know, in order to produce all these movies. But I think it's hard to keep up on some of these networks now. So I understand why people rather stick to the classics.
Yeah. No, I like the classics. I'm all about the older ones. Maybe someday I'll watch a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to be, you know what? I would have to have like the flu and like nothing
there you
else to
go.
watch where I just put it on and I
Drown away.
exactly. That's what we would be looking at that one. But
Yeah.
ladies, you are such a pleasure. I want to have you back on the show another time talking
yeah.
about other stuff, pop culture and stuff like that. But I absolutely adore both of you. I hope you have a fantastic holiday season.
You
You
too.
as well.
I hope you-
Happy
you know,
holidays.
Thank you. You know, we didn't even talk about New Year's. And I feel like that's like
Oh,
a whole nother
gosh.
conversation
Oh,
about how it's
yeah.
always like a big letdown. Like when is New Year's Eve never not a huge letdown?
Oh, I have the best breakup story if we come back for like a New Year's episode. I have the best breakup story from New Year's. New Year's is just like New Year's and me have never really gotten along.
I don't like it.
I
I don't
don't
know
either.
why. It just like something's unsettling about it.
It's the ick. You get the ick from New Year's.
Yeah. Maybe that's one thing we all agree on.
There we go.
Cammy, look,
Found
that's
the
why
one
we're
thing.
friends. We got our one thing. New Year's is ick.
And on that note, have a very happy holidays and a
Merry
happy New Year. Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Modern Mom Probs. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive in today's problem with me, your host, Tara Clark. Join me next time when I'll be interviewing another great guest and tackling another modern mom problem. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review and a rating. As always, you could head over to Modern Mom Probs on Instagram and give me a follow, or check out my book, Modern Mom Probs, A Survival Guide for 21st Century Mothers, available online wherever books are sold. Well, that's it for today. See you next time, folks.